Hey everybody, this is Justin D. Torres here with everythingvoiceover.com, and today we're going to talk about the Voice123 Smartcast function. For those of you who don't know who Voice123 is, Voice123 is a pay-to-play site where you basically pay them a yearly fee of approximately, I think it's around $400, maybe $450. It deviates from here, it changes from here to there. I think it's pretty sure it's at $400 right now, and you pay them for the ability to use to audition for their jobs, and they have auditions that pop out, and they only need 10 auditioners. Sometimes they need 100 auditioners, and the range of jobs goes anything from a student or low budget or no budget job at zero to all the way up to like thousands of dollars for even union jobs, I hear, but I don't go out for them because I am non-union. Now, Voice123 has this thing called a Smartcast function, and I recently saw on Voice123's Twitter, they said they had saying big things coming up for the Smartcast function. We will no longer be limiting you on your auditions. And as this happened, I got about an influx of about 12 auditions from Voice123. And if you check out the P2Play site, I actually auditioned for about 8 of them because some of them were really good. And the first thing, but I was scared because I was like, the Smartcast function, and if you listen to any of my videos or my podcast, you know I hate the Smartcast function, because what it does is if you audition for more than X% above the average auditioner, you will be docked. You will not be able to audition. They will not send you auditions. They will send them to everyone else. So it kind of almost like punishes you for for auditioning a lot. And there's a percentage that's there, and this is the percentage of all the voiceover actors that audition. And the unfortunate thing is that there are some people who just don't, who are maybe union, who only audition for maybe 1 or 2 jobs a day. And there's some people who don't even audition anymore, and they've tossed their subscription aside, or they're on vacation for a month and they're not doing it. So as a person who's a voiceover artist who works constantly and is trying to get jobs and trying to get more voiceover work, when this happens and I'm being compared to people who are entirely different than me, I should not be working in the same pool. They go off, they should miss auditions. I'm here doing auditions, I should get more auditions. That's just a personal opinion of mine, but I don't think me and some guy who's a SAG-AFTRA, who only can audition for SAG-AFTRA jobs, should be able. Me and him should not be sharing the same piece of pie, because my pie is much cheaper than his pie, and his pie has requirements. So we shouldn't be having the same piece. So anyway, enough about the rant. They were going to change their Smartcast function, saying that it was no longer going to limit auditions, and I was like, yes. And then I thought to myself, oh, wait a second, I just got an influx of 12 auditions. My Smartcast is still over the limit as far as auditions go. So I messaged Smartcast. I messaged Voice123, and I used their little chat with us thing, and I got to a representative, and she was very helpful. And first thing I asked is like, are these things happening? And I also retweeted them, replied, said, are the limits in happening right now? And they were like, no, these are not happening now. They're going to happen after the conference. We're going to release it and unveil it, and then we're going to put it through. I was like, okay, so I should not audition for these influx of auditions that are coming in, because I know that I'm going to be punished with your Smartcast. And the lady looked, and I asked her about what it was, and the lady said, well, I probably wouldn't audition for like any more, since you just did 8 auditions, which I just did. And she said, here's this quote. She said, we try and get people to do 1 to 4 auditions per day. That seems to be the average that you can get away with before Smartcast starts taking away your auditions. 1 to 4 per day, probably 5 days a week. 1 to 4 per day. So we're talking 5 auditions per week to 20 auditions per week. Okay, that is what they think. That's what Smartcast has, and Voice123 has a function on you as a voiceover actor on what you should audition for. The other thing you can do is if you look in your stats at Voice123, and if you see you are over 200%, more than their little percentage of like voice Smartcast percentage, if you are over 200%, you should stop until you go under 200%. Now me, I've been on the hog of 200% the whole time. I've been over 200%. When I lost out on auditions for an entire month, I might have been at 300% or 400%, because I was just auditioning for everything that came in because I wanted the jobs. And the fact that this is very telling. So if you look at the pay-to-play shootout that I did, the videos are up on YouTube right now, you'll see that I may have gotten only auditioned for 8 jobs, but I did not audition for any of the other ones. So their numbers may be higher at 25, but I cannot, in all honesty, say that I auditioned for them because I didn't. Because what I want to try and get a constant flow of auditions coming in to see exactly how many auditions people could get when I compare them to, say, Bidalgo and Voice123 and Voices.com and VoiceRealm. So here's the tip of the week for you people on Voice123. Number 1, audition for 1 to 4 jobs per day if you are under 200%. If you are over 200%, stop everything until your percentage goes below 200%. Right now, she said I did 8, right? And I was at like 215, 220. This was on Monday or Tuesday. Now it is officially Sunday, and my percentages went down to 207%. So even though she said maybe wait off a few days, this is obviously 6 or 7 days. So I'm still going to have to wait a couple more days and just not do auditions, and that's going to affect their numbers because I can't tell them all I'm trying to work within their Smartcast limit. So if you're starting at 0, do 1 to 4 auditions per day. Keep an eye on your numbers. Make sure it stays below 200%. And then you should probably get a constant flow of auditions. On the other hand, if they get rid of this function, which, I hope they do. I really hope they do, because I would love to treat Voice123 the same as Voices.com. Get me in there. I'll audition for I'll audition for all the stuff that I think I'm good for, and I'll just go at it. If they can do the same thing as Voices.com, then guess what? That will warrant their $400 subscription fee, because right now Voices.com, as far as numbers go of auditions, is killing Voice123. Number of auditions, we're talking, Voices.com is the place to get as far as the numbers go for auditions. You may have problems with the way they do business. You have made problems with the people in the company. I personally have met them. I think they're very nice people. You may have problems with all their business practices. Yes, I understand. But what is the function of a pay-to-play site is you pay to play. So the more they give you auditions, the better they are as a site. And right now, Voices.com is the lead runner, by far the front runner, for the number of auditions. And if you want to see the stats on that, go ahead and check me out. I'm going to be doing a weekly pay-to-play shootout video on everythingvoiceover.com, so check it out there. Thank you guys so much for listening. I'm sorry this took a while, but I can actually provide, if people want to see it, I can provide a photo of the actual transcript of the conversation, because Voice123, when they do their live chat, they actually have the conversation sent to you by transcript, which is great. And so I have that available to everyone if the people want to look at it. But I assure you, this is the strategy that Voice123 is doing currently, which I hope changes, because right now for this week I've done 8 auditions, whereas in Voices.com I've done maybe 30 auditions. And last week it was 70 auditions. So thank you guys so much for listening. Have a great day. My name is Justin E. Torres. Come to everythingvoiceover.com. Follow us on Twitter at everythingv. Take care. And that's a plane going over.